Hello good people and welcome to my first ever English review. Today we'll talk about the new zombie killing simulator, Dead Island 2. To tell you the truth, I've never been a big fan of these rotten sacks of meat. No offense intended, that is what they are, and sometimes it feels like we're getting about 1,000 zombie games a year. What I do like is good gameplay. And that's where Dead Island 2 shines brightest. The fact that this game has been delayed repeatedly over the years and has gone through several changes since it was originally announced in 2014 may seem like a bad omen, and I understand it. However, seeing how the game survived its problematic development and still managed to reach the finish line made me curious. What was all the fuss about? Sometimes the most problematic games are also the most interesting. On the other hand, we just recently saw an opposite example with Atomic Heart that had all the potential in the world but still launched with some deep scars that could not be mended. So, does Dead Island 2 succeed where many others have failed? Give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. Dead Island 2 takes place after a massive zombie outbreak in Los Angeles, or as it's called here, LA, which forced the government to shut down the entire area. The hero you select from a number of different characters with different abilities that you're offered at the beginning of the game has a natural talent for smashing the living crap out of the living dead. And of course, they also have a mysterious immunity to the virus. Eventually we'll find out this is actually a Last of Us spin-off. You'll see. During the adventure we will meet many side characters, some from the original game. Together we will look for a way to put the brakes on this zombie apocalypse. Dead Island 2 is pretty much what you expect. There are zombies, there are weapons, and when the two meet, sparks and organs fly. If you are imagining running around and doing parkour in a large city, escaping from endless zombie hordes, stop. This is not Dying Light 2. You'd be surprised how different these two games are. First of all, Dead Island 2 is not an open world game. Yeah, you heard right. Take a deep breath and accept this fact, because overall, it's not a bad thing. We're gonna visit a number of locations throughout LA, from movie production studios to private villas of rich YouTubers, probably trend chasers, to amusement parks and commercial areas. And each area stands on its own, making us want to explore every nook and cranny in search of secrets and bonuses hidden throughout the map. Everything looks great, runs at 60 FPS, and if that's the price of a semi-open world, the sacrifice is worth it. If Dying Light 2 focused on stealth and escaping the zombies, in Dead Island 2 you're a badass with some crazy ass weapons. When the game starts, you will mostly have melee weapons like clubs and knives, and later on we'll find nail guns, automatic rifles, grenades, and a whole bunch of other insane and cruel torture devices. This feeling of progress continues throughout the game. As we level up, we will unlock cards in different categories that will allow us to build a powerful build adapted to our playstyle. In the various upgrading stations around the city, we will usually find blueprints for new objects and abilities. Those will allow us to change the properties of each weapon, from upgrading its damage to its main element type such as electricity, fire or acid, or other bonuses like extra rage from enemy kills, which will allow us to enter the useful Fury mode more quickly. To my surprise, the game did not offer any difficulty modes, but basically everything you do is saved, so even if you die, it's no biggie. And those looking for a challenge will later discover the autophage cards, which are kind of a double-edged sword that adds to our power at the expense of limited healing and other downgrades. If you want a partner in your mass killing spree, you'll be happy to hear there's also a co-op mode in the game. You can add players and face stronger waves of enemies, and each player will be getting loot according to his own character level. Prepare to have a bloody good time. In conclusion, Dead Island 2 is a fun and polished zombie killing fest for those in the mood for something light and brutal. The enemies are varied and entertaining, and most importantly, break into disgusting little pieces of flesh, depending on which body part suffers the most damage. And we'll even get some specific loot out of it. And you know, sometimes it's just entertaining to chase a zombie, especially those who look like Walt messengers. It's not just me, right? So even if I'm not a huge fan of zombie games, thanks to the addictive gameplay, the excellent co-op mode, and the slew of upgrades that keep flowing all the time, I couldn't put the controller down the entire time. Look, this game is not a masterpiece that will stay in my mind for many years to come. The story is generic, as expected, and the game is basically running around and killing zombies, but for those times you don't want to use your brain, just smash others, Dead Island 2 offers great entertainment, just not for the whole family. My score for Dead Island 2? 7.5. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you're a first timer, and I'll see you guys in my next review, probably Star Wars Jedi Survivor.